You are a board certified doctor, correct?
Yes,
and working up at the hospital?
Yes, I'm board certified in family medicine, and I did a fellowship in obstetrics, and been practicing here, moved here 16 years ago this week. All right. In Torrington.
So how do you make the transition from medical to culinary expert?
When you say how, do you mean why?
Or how does it happen?
How does it happen?
Just a passion always, and you decide?
Well, here's what I mentioned earlier. We wanted to have a family business we could work at together. My daughter has some disabilities and is going to be a senior in high school this next year. And I felt like we wanted to have a project we could do together when she graduated. I wanted to get it working before her senior year so that she could work here during her senior year with work release time. So that was kind of that, plus a passion for food and baking. I've been a home baker for more than 20 years. And so I decided to investigate whether or not I had the chops to run a bakery and to commercially bake, because that's a completely different animal than, you know, baking cakes and cookies and breads at home. So I went to baking school to see if I could do it. And my teacher is here now, and she came to consult while we opened the bakery. And after a month of school, I came back and went back to medicine. I just took a sabbatical for a month and kind of started mulling over what kind of a bakery might work in Torrington, or what kind of baked goods people might be interested in, and applying what I learned to that. So I actually took a break from medicine to go learn how to bake. Mostly initially to see if, like I said, if it was just a hobby and I should leave it a hobby, or if I should try to make it a business. So then I had to work out my business schedule to see if I could create a schedule that would allow me the flexibility to run a bakery. And so what I'm doing now is I'm working part-time at the hospital, and then the rest of the week I'm here baking. And that started now, this month. So I had to give up, unfortunately, my obstetrical practice and my clinic practice, which was you know, not something I was planning on doing this early in my career, but in order to have the flexibility, I worked just in the emergency room, because you can control your time better and you don't have call responsibilities once your shift is up. So that's how one makes the transition. And then I made the change up there, and then we happened to find a space downtown a year ago that we thought might be a good place. And I think we were right. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. We just hope that we can be something that the community feels is viable, and we'd love to reach out to Scottsbluff as well, and that people can support.
Now you said you were a home baker.
Yes.
Did you just start selling locally? I was checking on the website that you do orders, and I'm guessing you probably ship all across the region, the country?
No, haven't done any shipping yet.
No, okay.
No.
Just local orders?
Just local orders, and that was really what I started out when I first had the idea and came back from baking school. I approached the city council and the planning commission, and they were very gracious and allowed me a variance to run a small in-home bakery in my home so that I could test out the formulas and recipes and the palate of the community and see what they enjoyed. Started making bagels and breads and cookies from home and some croissants, just to kind of give a taste for what I could offer and see if people were interested. I did tell the city that someday I thought maybe we would go downtown like 4 or 5 years from now, but as things happen, we found a place a lot sooner, and we decided it was time to do it. So at the time I was baking at home, I was taking large orders just to be able to sell everything I baked at the time, because I didn't have storage place to keep things. We will be taking orders at the bakery, orders for special occasions and family events and whatever that people want to do. But I right now will not be selling, you know, just bagels one day. You know, I did 800 bagels in one day last year. You know, 67 dozen. If you do that, you can't make anything else. So we will be offering bagels every Friday and Saturday. They'll be here at the bakery, and maybe once the business gets going, I can look at, you know, having bulk buys again like we did before. That was largely to kind of see what people were interested in, but we will be featuring all the products that we sold before here at the bakery.
All right.
And if somebody wants a special order, of course, we'll try to accommodate that.
But you said you've been fixing up this building for about a year?
Well, we purchased it in May of 2014. They started construction in December. My contractor was busy with other projects. He started in December, mid-December, and they finished basically right at the end of June.
So what were some of the big obstacles there of, all right, we want to do this, and then, you know, getting that industrial kitchen equipment in here?
Oh,
it doesn't happen just...
No. So after we bought the building, I actually hired my baking teacher to come and help design the bakery, the layout, the layout of the front area. We talked about color schemes and that kind of stuff. Then I actually chose the lighting and the paint and the way things are trimmed out. We talked about equipment. Of course, some of the heavy-duty baking equipment I have used in class, and also I worked in a bakery in Oregon for a few nights while I was in school at the same time to get an idea about how bakeries are really running commercially. And then my teacher came and helped me plan it all out Memorial Weekend of 2014. And we submitted the plans to my contractor and the city building inspector to make sure they were going to fit all the regulations and that we would be able to get all the equipment in. And so that's where it started. And some of the obstacles we had was this building was originally divided into 2 retail stores with a central wall. It was actually all one building, but the central wall was bearing the weight of the roof. So we had to get engineering involved in how to redistribute the weight of the roof out to the periphery of the building. So up in the ceiling, it's almost as beautiful as the rest of the building, are all of these engineered beams that were there to spread the weight of the roof out. And that's what allowed us to take the center wall down. So then one of the other obstacles was the giant vault in the back. This used to be a title company, Goshen County Abstract, and we thought the vault was quaint and beautiful, but it really wasn't useful in a bakery, and you couldn't get anything in or out of the vault because the walls were 12.5 inches thick, And so we decided to save the safe door and mount it as a talking piece and a little bit of a division between the seating area. And so it's been sitting around in the bakery on a cart, moving around, waiting this whole time to finally be mounted. It buzzed the 3rd week of June. And so getting the vault down was a big chore for the contractors, but they had to actually remove all that concrete and brick. So that was another obstacle. And bearing the weight of the equipment on the floor, we had to support the floor underneath in the basement.
Now let's look forward to the grand opening. What do we have for staff? I'm guessing you're going to be here.
What do we have for what?
Staff and everything like
right
that.
Right now, this bakery is being run strictly by our family. And I do have my sister here visiting from Wyoming to help with the grand opening. We have some friends coming in this weekend to help get prepared. And staff is going to be the family and my baking teacher for the first weekend. And then after that, we're planning on running it with family until we see how well the business goes, and we see, oh, there's somebody now.
Come back next week, sir.
We'll be open on the 30th. Anyway, we see how profitable, I need to see if I can afford to pay people. And if I can afford to hire people to help me, I will. Because we can certainly be that, I hope we can be that busy. And they'll need to learn all of the baking techniques and that kind of stuff. But.
And offerings, definitely breakfast, definitely lunch.
Yes, we're a traditional European style bakery, so it's not really exactly centered around the meals of the day, but we will have an array of products that are suitable for breakfast and or lunch. We will have sweet pastries for the morning, croissants that are filled with cherry filling, apple filling, cinnamon, bear claw kind of filling, which we will make out of croissant pastry. And we'll have regular pain au chocolat, which are square pastries with chocolate and almond croissants. Then we'll also have ham and cheese. We'll have quiche. Getting closer to lunchtime, we'll have homemade chicken pot pies. We'll have peach cobbler. Have little blueberry buckles, which is kind of a blueberry coffee cake. And then we'll have an array of cookies and cake slices that people can buy. And bagels will be Friday and Saturday. And then every day I will feature 3 or 4 breads. We'll kind of have a rotating cycle. Hopefully the customers can count on. They'll know on Thursday we can get this bread and Friday this bread. We won't have any bread the day of opening because we're focusing largely on smaller carry-out items that people can eat on the street because it's fair day and it's going to be a busy day. So we should start having bread though by the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's the general offerings. We will be making special occasion cakes. Right now, some of the cake work I'm doing will be to fill the pastry case with small slices. We should have some cream puffs or eclairs as well.
Coffee? Is that going to be an
offer?
offer
Yeah, we'll
here?
serve coffee and tea and water and some soft drinks.
All right. And I guess lastly, leading up to next week's grand opening, just the community response. It looks like so far has been very well received. I mean, as a small business owner, what does that mean to have this early backing rather than trying to earn a client base? It's somewhat already there, and now that you got the brick and mortar shop, just having that community support, what does it mean to you?
It means a great deal. We have been very blessed by how positive everybody has been about the bakery. And this has been a big leap for our family. We had to mortgage everything we have to make this work. And we're committed to making it work for at least another 10 or 20 years. And so to have the community support us the way they have, they've been very kind and they're excited to come. We've had people come to the door already wondering if we're open, and I just hope that continues. I think our products will be the kind that people are surprised at the quality, actually. Everything is handmade, everything's made from scratch. It's all European style quality. Flavor is of the utmost importance. But having the community be so excited has been thrilling. And that's one of the reasons that I start baking at home, to see if community wanted this kind of thing before we went whole hog. So then we decided, we thought that they did. And so we've jumped in. And so everybody's support has been great. The local media has been supportive. We appreciate you being here today. The Telegram has run a couple of articles, one with me baking at home and another one last week about opening the shop. And that's been really nice to have people excited. So we feel like Main Street has also needed just a little bit more merchant activity, and that's not really my goal, to be a merchant on Main Street. It was to have a bakery, but we were grateful to get a space on Main Street, and once we did, it's been really a blessing to see how that has revitalized things. The Java Jar just reopened in a new location, 21st and Main, and that's a beautiful building they've redone here. And so we're hoping that people will shop local. We were very careful about the contractors we used, and almost everybody that worked on this project was from Goshen County. Other than there are things we just absolutely couldn't get. So we have local people doing the electric, local people did the plumbing, local people doing the heating, the air conditioning, installing my walk-in cooler and freezer, redoing the whole building, hoping that the community would feel a bit of ownership. And we want it to be a community project.
Anything above and beyond of your plans for opening day? Any specials or free samples of the
We will have samples of our what we hope will become our famous biscotti, which is a really beautiful Italian cookie that people often drink with coffee and tea, or eat while they're drinking coffee and tea. And it's a fabulous award-winning recipe that my teacher developed, that she shared with me. So we're going to have samples of that, yes. And that'll be out there for people, and maybe samples of cookies, depends on how that goes. And see what people want, see when people are actually here. But yeah, we will have a few little tidbits for people to try, and we will have an array of yummy things available.
And then do you have a set hours of operation yet?
Yes, right now our hours of operation will be open. We are open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll be open at 6 o'clock every morning, those 3 days. And we will close at 2 o'clock on Thursday and Saturday, but we'll be open late on Friday so people can come after work. So the hours are just a little bit eccentric, but we need time to prepare for the next day, and I need some time for family, so we want to be open after hours for people who are at work too. So Friday night we'll be open late till 6, and so Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All right. Any other talking points you wanted to address that we haven't yet?
Well, people are very concerned about, how many calories they think they're going to eat or how much weight they're going to gain having a bakery in town. And all I say is, hey, look, I'm only open 3 days a week, so you can't get it every day, A. B, we have 2 fitness centers right down the street. So if you go to the fitness center first and then come to the bakery, you'll be supporting 2 local businesses. But I would like to tell people that too, that all of our ingredients are natural. There's no pre-processed anything in this stuff. Of course, as a result of that, you either got to eat it or freeze it, because it will mold and go bad, but it's all very fresh and all natural. So we've worked hard at that. And we believe there's room for, with appropriate portion control for some of these kinds of things in everybody's life. So we want to, and we will have some gluten-free offerings. Our cheesecake is going to be entirely gluten-free. We'll have cheesecakes also. And our when we get them made, our Florentine cookies will be gluten-free.